And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They run it with a rookie from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Benardrick McKinney, a first-time Pro Bowler a season ago, in on the tackle there.
At the 26-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Carr going to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Benardrick McKinney muscled his way in for the sack.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Townsend to punt it. Back deep for the Texans, Will Fuller. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. That's taken on the 25. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Now a first-time Pro Bowler from a year ago, Lamar Miller. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller with touchdown number 7 on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion, guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3
and
and
have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Carr. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Michael Kendricks. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. He is proving his worth defensively. Getting the sack here, that comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
A gain of 19 on 3rd and 18, and that'll move the chains. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Jalen Richard. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player, as well as a physical specimen.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. to throw on third down. Carr. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. First and 10 at their own 11-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. They'll run with Miller. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. On 2nd and 11 now. Watson, he's got his tight end. It's Fells. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. A little tough on the secondary there. In zone defensively. Quarterback had time to survey and find a spot.
And if you want to change things up and put a little more pressure on him, you can go to man coverage. Everyone matches up and send more pressure. But you can also do it out of zone coverage if you're worried about what's going to happen on your back end. Send someone else, drop someone else out of the line. The old zone blitz could come into play to try and get that pressure on the quarterback.
So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the 2nd foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL.
A 1st down carry now for Miller. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
And it is still early, just the 1st quarter. But you start prorating the numbers, and we might be in for some history. I mean, that last run puts him over 100 yards already, and we've still got 3 quarters to go.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here's Watson. He'll buy some time right. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the 1st. They'll try and run for it with Miller. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown, you're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd.
They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. They come out here in the eye.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal, eluding the pressure. And he's going to go down. This will count as a sack, a very short sack, taken down at the 2. Credit the sack to Brandon Marshall.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. They're just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. But I'll guarantee you, Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use them a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Cameron Meredith, the intended target. That'll bring up second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now a give to Jacobs running right. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards. Those are the types of run, Charles, that they say this first-year running back can provide a lot more of in the future.
He made it look easy, didn't he? Picking up that first down.
And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And the Texans scoop it. And they will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Texans touchdown. They give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
This fielded at the 2. And he's going to be taken down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment. But here, he's one that has to absorb the contact. And as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
55.
From the gun, it's Carr. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. To Sean Gibson. Give him the sack on the safety blitz. Charles, not to point fingers, but how much of this goes on the shoulders of the offensive line? But look at the 6 sacks last week. That's the 4th in this game.
Definitely the bulk of it does go on the offensive line. That's what they're tasked with doing, keeping their quarterback upright and clean in the pocket. But I think they have to look at, okay, are we bringing in extra people? Is the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick enough? There are a few other factors they'd have to look at to try and help out, but you're exactly right. It starts with the O-line.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Partner, I know my grade school teachers never would believe this, but I can absorb a lesson. I think there's a lesson in this one. He's having a great day running the football, but occasionally they're going to find a way to stop you, aren't they?
Yeah, this time the defense stepped up in what's been so far a tough game for them. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. When you're dealing with those big, bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Abram, the rookie from Mississippi State. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out the
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Michael Kendricks. in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon.
694.
To throw is Carr. Throw to the right, caught by Aitman. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. This game, this matchup means a little more to the Carr family. Derek Carr's brother David, of course, the first overall pick in 2002 by these Houston Texans. Spent 5 years as the Texans starter, and then he would eventually spend 6 more years as a backup in the league in various spots before calling it a career. This is caught. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Here's Jacobs, and he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make 2nd down pretty tough. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. Now a first carry for the backup, Isaiah Crowell. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. They've been stuffed twice here for losses. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Hey, 4-1 Mike, 4-1 Mike. I'm here all day. I'm here all day. Mike 41, Mike 41. 3 buzz. 41 to Mike, 41.
Now Carr. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Luke Wilson, his first touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Well, he was just trying to contain DeAndre Hopkins, and he got a little too close.
And because of his ability to line up in different spots on the field and come at you from different angles, different guys have to cover him, and all of them have the same issue. How do you do it without interfering? In this case, it didn't get done.
Now a first down throw, Watson. Flush to his right. He's going to look deep, end zone for Hopkins. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now 21-7. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Our first update now comes from Atlanta. And it's the NFC champs, the Falcons, that have moved out to an early advantage. I would definitely imagine we'll hear more from that game as we go along. Now a play fake here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now Carr. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10, Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Curtis Riley. And now off to the races down the right side. And the Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown.
Did I just see what I thought I saw? Did I just see what I thought? That had to be. Come on, say it for me. Say it for me. Who picked up that pass?
The free safety.
Oh, you got to have those great skills back there. Eyes, anticipation, great hands. And, of course, how about the fluid moves afterwards to take it all the way to the house?
Sounds like you're watching your old game film up here in your head.
Yeah, that's the dream I had of being that player. I just never was.
At their own 25-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They begin with a run by Miller. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
He was brought down by Carl Joseph. 4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Jordan Thomas, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd down.
6 yards to go.
Set. 18. Motion.
A shotgun snap for Watson. Underneath for Miller. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. 4th down, so the Texans dial up the number of their 2nd-year punter, Trevor Daniel. Back deep, Jalen Richard. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here.
The Raiders take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Throwing on 1st down is Carr. Over the middle here to Brown. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. First 9 seasons in the league for Brown were, of course, in Pittsburgh. Last year, though, growing concerns of his dissatisfaction in his role with the Steelers and the quibbles with Ben Roethlisberger. So he ends up being traded to the Raiders in March. 7-time Pro Bowler, 6 straight years of at least 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns. Not a bad stretch. What a talent for Derek Carr to have on his side. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Carr now on first down. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Michael Kendricks has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. To try again after the sack. Carr, they'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. Now the Raiders going to burn their third and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10.
29. Switch.
Shotgun now for Carr. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Carr will come up here with a first and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive.
41 Mike, right here, 41 Mike. Here we go.
Into the red zone, it's Carr. That is caught by Brown. Touchdown, Raiders. Antonio Brown in the final seconds of the first half as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And we've got a tie game here in a back-and-forth first half. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. The final shot before the break. Watson buying time to his left. And he will find a man here as Thomas comes open. And they work this well upfield across the 45. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This one taken just inside the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. An NFL update, second quarter now in Jacksonville. And the Jags, they're out to an early lead there. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You're probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up third.
Well, he strung it out as far as he could, and I like the fact that he kept his eyes downfield, but he finally ran out of time and room. But I'll take that over forcing it downfield and possibly having it intercepted.
Throwing on third down, Watson. And that is incomplete. So no problems moving the ball in the first half, but they'll likely come up empty here on drive one of quarter three.
And it was so important for the defense to get that stop, because what we witnessed in the first half was them getting run over. And they needed the confidence, and they needed to get off the field so they felt good going forward in this game.
It'll wind up being a net of 41. 9-yard return, 50 on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half, and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. Now a give, right side. Jacobs. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop. 24th pick in the spring by Oakland was Josh Jacobs. Only rushed for 640 yards last year at Alabama, but when you consider the offensive depth chart they had, it makes it understandable. So young, won't turn 22 until February, and he fires one that's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Michael Kendricks. And this results in 6. Touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick-6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick-6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. Tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
This one fielded at the 5. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go, man. At their own 22-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Now Carr to try again after the pick-6. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
Well, I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick-6 on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Get him right back in the saddle and say, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Carr to throw. It's a screen to Richard. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool him, right? Tried to trick him. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yards.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And this will be a touchdown.
What you just saw there, first-round talent, second year, even more success. A pick-6 for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really started to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year one. By year 2, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well.
Showed right there. Let's just take it at his 4. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. On 2nd and 7, Carr. He'll find his running back here, Richard. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. Carr now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Carr completes it. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. This is Richard. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Pass complete to Richard, the running back. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Watson now to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. A safety with a sack there. LaMarcus Joyner.
Like how they've started the 3rd quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room.
Man, I got you. Man, I got you. Tight dog, tight dog, tight dog. Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Here we go.
On 3rd down, Watson. Fells has it, left side. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Kiki QT. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. But Deshaun Watson, he's a lot of fun to watch in the pocket, but when he's forced out of the pocket like that, he can make those big plays downfield.
Almost a bad thing when you're pass rushing and you force a Deshaun Watson out of the pocket. He creates extra time. He has the poise to keep his eyes downfield and locate receivers, and it turns into a little bit of a scramble drill for the defensive backs. Where is everyone? And Deshaun Watson finds his target for a big, big play.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. To throw again. Carr. Wilson snags it left side. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still,
no yardage.
Okay.
Throwing his car on third down. He finds an opening past the 40. And that will be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. He's going to field this at the 4. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. On the NFL scoreboard, they are in the third now in New Orleans. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Back now in Houston. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Watson escaping the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
After the penalty, it's Miller. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. They'll run it again with Miller. Give him 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
4 down, 4 down.
Here's Watson on third down.
Don't get nervous.
Just keeping the play alive. And a nice job there defensively to contain him and get him to the ground a few yards short of the first down marker. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle, and that will extend the lead out to 24. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started, and they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now a give, right side. It's Jacobs. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance in guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
It's a gain of just a couple there, but it's enough to get them the first. Here's Carr to throw. That's caught by Meredith right side. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Give him 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And he's got this down to the 35. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to the running game with Jacobs. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
Now, Mike, 4-1, Mike. 180. Hey, we're good, we're good. 180. 89.
From the gun, it's Carr. He gets it to Brown, complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Antonio Brown. His 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Raiders get a score closer. So now Carr, he'll lead the Raiders up to go for 2. From the gun, Carr looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it, touchdowns.
And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Now Watson. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a 1st down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll run on 1st down. Miller bulldozes past him. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. They keep it with Miller on 1st down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
And Watson's going to throw it here. And this is caught at the 8. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. It's a gain of 35. They come out here in the I. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Texans, they'll finish the first half of the schedule dead even at 4-4. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for Oakland, things are definitely going south quickly as they fall now to 1-6. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at